What's good, tubers? How are we today? Chuggers here, back again after yesterday's first video. I must say, I do really appreciate the support you all gave me with that. And I got a few DMs that asked me to go a little bit more in detail with the Axies and, learn a bit more about them. Also ironing out the kinks of the editing and microphones and the volumes. And so hopefully today's a lot better using my production gear today. So let's see if that works a bit more. So today's question: what are Axies? What do they look like? How do they work? I want to go over all the stats, genetics, the details, the abilities, the body parts. What is all this? How does it work? What means what? Yeah, so we're going to dive straight into it. Right, so guys, if you open up your marketplace in Axie Infinity, if you just type that into Google, you'll get to it, or Axie Infinity Marketplace, it'll come straight up. This is essentially what you see on the first page. You have your classes. Now, there are 9 classes. The 3 main classes being beast, plant, bug, aquatic, bird, and reptile. Now we then have specialty classes, which are mech, dawn, and dusk, and they are formed by, as you would say, breeding different types together to make a special class. Now, that's all well and good. We're going to move on for that. We're going to determine what makes a beast, a plant, etc., and why and how, all that. So I have clicked Pureness 6. Now, the reason I've done that is because I want to show you the traits of a pure beast and how it becomes a beast based off those traits. So if I just click a random beast. All right, cool. So let's start with, what is an Axie? An Axie is a Pokemon / Digimon-esque type blob that have features that give it a certain look based on its genetics. Just like Pokemon, they have resistances to different Axies of Pokemon and weaknesses as well. So I'll go through that after I've done this layout about what you see on this screen. So first things first, you should always download Freak's Axie extension. Just type that in to Google to get that. Now that is just an extension that allows me to hover over stats. As you can see here, you can see that there is a D, R1, and R2. Now, D is obviously the dominant gene, R1 and R2 is recessives. So less likely to get those traits, those stats, those cards. Now, I can only see this because I have that Freaks extension that we have just downloaded. So each Axie, based on its class, has 140 stat points. So a full purebred, a baseline of each class has these statistics. So a beast that we're looking at has 31 HP, 35 speed, 31 skill, 43 morale. Now I'll get to soon what these actually mean and what they do, but this is their base. So there's 140 stat points, sorry. And then through that, you then add a specific, I'll just show you actually. Essentially you get another lot of distribution of stats based on what body parts the Axie has. So because there's 6 body parts, only the horn, mouth, back, and tail get the ability to have abilities, right, which is our cards. Okay, but it does mean that we get to use those 6 body parts and plus it by 4 stats per body part, which means that we have 164 statistic points on our Axie. So as you can see here, it's got that base health that it had, but it's quite faster and its morale is much more. And you can see here that we have 6 fully same colored beast parts. Okay, now like I said, only these 4 give you abilities. but these two provide in giving those extra stat bonuses based on the class type. Now, that's a mouthful, but if I go back and I look at this screen, I can see that I'll make it a bit smaller. So if I look at Beast here, I've got 31 health, 31 health. I've got 41 speed, 35 speed, 31 skill, 31 skill, 61 morale, 43 morale. So our speed and morale have been affected. Now, because I know that it is a purebred beast, I can go to this chart that I brought up before, and we know that a beast per body part that is a full purebred of beast will give you this statistic, which is 3 morale and 1 speed. So, quick math here. If I do 3 morale times 6 body parts, so that's an extra 18 points. If I add those 18 points of morale onto 43 plus 18, guess what we got, ladies and germs? We have a solid 61. Yeah. So the speed works the same way, that we've added those extra 6 points of speed bonus with the 3 morale for being a beast type onto our current beast. Yeah, which is over here. Cool. So like I said, that beast being a 35 speed plus 6 points gives us that 35 plus 6. Yep, you guessed it. It is 41. So from there, we look at, okay, health, speed, skill, morale. What do they do? Let's go through it. So health. Health increases an Axie's hit points and the amount of damage you actually can take before getting knocked out. Okay, pretty basic. If you have high health, you're going to last longer, you're going to live longer, you're going to be more durable. Speed determines essentially from highest to lowest what turn you go in when you were playing this game, whether you were first or last. Now, a lot of tanks, for example, with heaps high health have very low speed, and they normally go last. Now, as you can see with our beast, we got that speed bonus by having our 6 beast parts that we talked about. Okay, so now speed also helps in reducing how often you get critical struck when you are defending. So that's another good thing for speed. Skill, it adds more damage when you're doing combos of sorts. So if you play like 3 cards that help stack on each other that do more damage, you'll do more damage again because you have a higher skill rating. So that's that skill for combo attacks. And then morale, this is a cool one. This is essentially helps increase your critical strike rating, and it makes you enter a thing called last stand when you take a certain amount of damage. If your morale's higher than the damage output that you took, essentially divided by a certain number, then you go into a last stand and you get another go, or another few turns. So that's cool. So essentially, that's where the game's not always over. That's where you could have a comeback and win from your hero, your Axie, essentially being defeated, but you get those extra attack if you were to be slower in speed, if that makes any sense. But I'll show you that in game anyway. So that's statistics, what they are, what they do. Body parts, they determine what statistic we get, like I said, based on what I've got written here. So if it was a plant type, you'd get an extra 3 HP and 1 morale per plant part that you have. Again, these are our parts. We have 6 beast parts, we get 6 extra beast points. Okay, 6 extra beast points. So 3 morale and 1 speed times 6 to go on to our original statistics and stat lines. Yeah. The eyes and ears, these two, Chubby and Nutcracker, they do not give us any cards or abilities. They just give us those stats that we were talking about just then, those increase being a beast stat. Now, the next ones, the horns, mouth, back and tails. Yeah. Horns, mouth, back, tail. They give us abilities. Okay. So when I look at statistics, it had a chance in the dominant gene and recessive 1 and 2 that Ronin would be a likely card that it was going to get. And it did get it. Yeah. So that is my initial horn attack. Okay. Ronin, horn attack. Now I then go to the mouth. I go, okay, we got Nutcracker. And it has double chance of getting Nutcracker in dominant, and then recessive 1 and 2. And obviously recessive 2, there's a double chance again of getting Nutcracker. So likely chance of getting a Nutcracker was there, and we did get that. So we then move on to the, well, this says Imp, and that is obviously our back. And if we look at this again, we had it in our dominant and recessive 2 genes. Moving on to the last one, the gerbil. So that is here. That's our tail. And if you look at our stats, it is there as well. Only in our dominance though. So that's cool that recessive 1 and 2 don't have it, but you still managed to get it. At the bottom, you can see these Axie's parents that they have based on their numbers. You can go into you can look at them and you can see what genes they had as well. Again, purebreds. You can see how many times it's been bred, and you can see what it looks like, what its cards were, and then you can see what its parents were and what children it's had. Okay, so it's kind of like a constant ongoing thing. So we've talked about statistics. We've talked about the genes. You get the genes obviously from your parents. The 2 Axies that come together. No, they don't have to be male or female. It's just 2 Axies that you have coming together to breed. Now, if, for example, these body parts had different characteristics, so if I had a plant type body part in one of these, then my stats would change, because instead of me getting that bonus of 3 morale, 1 speed, I might have 3 HP and 1 morale bonus instead of one of these 3 morale, 1 speed, which would then change the overall statistics here. Okay, so we talked about stats, we talked about body parts. Body parts are obviously gotten from genes, and the abilities have gotten from the body parts. All right, guys, this is the flowchart that I was talking about. As you can see here, it has our 9 classes. Now, everything going in this direction does more damage to the thing in front of it. So Beast, Bug, and Mech do more damage by 15% to Reptile, Plant, Dusk, and so on and so forth. Now, if you flip the script and go the other way around, it works as defense as well. So Reptile, Plant, and Dusk do 15% less damage to Beast, Bug, and Mech, right? And vice versa. So a Beast will always have the advantage against a Reptile in terms of attacking and defending. Yeah? Hopefully that makes sense. If you don't get it, I'll leave a link. You can check it out and research it for yourself. Now, moving on, the last thing I want to talk about is energy. Now, as you can see here, there is energy in the top left-hand corner of each card, or for each ability. Yeah, now, energy is what allows us to play cards and essentially win the game. Now, each card is different, doing different things. Read up about this, guys. It takes way too long to explain every individual thing, but some energy costs nothing to play, 0 cards. Some energy costs 1 or 2. Okay, so maybe there'll be more energy in the future. I'm not too sure, but at the moment, you do the research on your combos and how things work together. And again, like I said, that all stems from what we've learned today, based on what statistics we have, based on their dominant genes. Obviously, the dominant gene is dominant because you have more of a chance of getting it. Yeah, and obviously recessive 1 and 2 have a less likely chance, like a 9 and then like 3% chance from 1 to 2. So yeah, dominant is obviously most of the time what you are going to get when you are breeding or anything like that. So guys, that is me signing off. Once again, it's been fun. I've enjoyed myself. Thank you for the support once again. Feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe, whatever you want to do. I'll appreciate all of it. Hopefully you didn't mind looking at this dumb head for a while today. I know it's been a long video, but thanks for sticking with me. Peace out, guys. Just like yesterday, shuckers for days. Have a good day. Stay safe. Love each other. Get rid of that COVID, and let's earn some moolah.